Hello walkers, and welcome back to Missoula, Montana. It is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm gonna walk through this parking lot real quick just to get away from the traffic sound, because we are gonna be on a more heavily trafficked road, Broadway. We are starting off at the corner of Broadway and Van Buren here in Missoula. Sorry, I'm got a lot of things going through my head right now that I have to get onto the audio. 2 o'clock, it is approximately, because I like to give you guys the time and the date and the temperature, about 32 degrees, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, that says 34, 0 to, call it 1 degree Celsius. Sorry about that audio. And one of the things I like to say early on is I'm going to give you a secret word at some point before the 10-minute mark. And I have to set my timer to do that, because otherwise I will totally forget. And I'm going to start. So what the deal is with the secret word is, if you hear it, put it in the comments below in the YouTube channel. And the first one to do so, according to YouTube's timestamp, I will give you a shout out in a future video. And the point of this is, one, to create some rituals that we do every week. Sorry, I gotta jog across here. And also to extend the view time a little bit. Hopefully you guys will stick around. Some of you stick around for the whole thing anyway, and I appreciate that. A few of you just sort of duck in, which is great, but if you stick around a little bit longer, even 30 seconds longer sometimes, it tells YouTube that I am a good channel to suggest to others, that I will take you on a good tour. And today, despite all this traffic noise, is also going to be a good tour. I just, anyway, walked along and through University of Montana campus. There's a lovely campus over there. Check that out if you haven't yet. And now I'm going to walk down Broadway to downtown, and then I think it's Higgins that I'm going to make a left on and cross the river and show you around over there. This is my third Missoula walk that I have done. I did the first one a couple years ago in the middle of winter. It was even colder than it is today. Excuse me. And then, of course, the second one was just a few minutes ago, my time, several days ago, your time. Missoula is a great town, one of the bigger towns in Montana. Of course, has a university, as well as a lot of hospitals and other industries, major airport, hotels and conference centers. I mentioned a film festival in my prior video, and all sorts of stuff. I haven't actually looked that up yet because my phone is on the fritz. Normally I like to do a little bit, 5-10 minutes of research before I start these walks, because I don't really always know where I am, much about these towns. I'm sort of exploring. I'm taking you along with me as I do so, which can be a lot of fun. It is noisy. In terms of discovering new and fun places and things to do and interesting little details. But I don't always know every detail. So that brings up another point. Please leave in the comments of the YouTube channel your corrections and suggestions and additional information. I've gotten a couple of really good comments with a lot of great information recently. Super fun for me to learn about these places, even though I've already been. and I think useful for other people too, the rest of you guys. So while you're watching these videos, you might scroll through the comments real quick and see if you see any thing that indicates it has some additional information. I am going to duck left here onto Main Street, which I assume is the old main thoroughfare, just to get away from that traffic. We are heading, I would say, kind of west here. Let me pull out the old phone and see if the compass is working. And I can tell you. Yep, pretty much west. It is a beautiful time of day, but this time of year, which is early December, the days are short. And it's sort of a road trip filming day for me today, where I'm coming out all the way over from Livingston, and which is about 250 miles away. I did stop in Anaconda, and I'm going to hope to film a couple other places, but I'm not sure I'm going to have the light to do that. So I better get off the road here, but I want to go to that and show you that. I guess I can show you from this side. So that is the Missoula Public Library, which is awesome, looks awesome, beautiful new building. And I believe this is either a museum. Well, I better not say anything because that says MCT. And I don't know what that, oh, Center for Performing Arts. I knew it was an artistic or public building of some sort. So that's the museum for the performing arts. Very cool. But anyway, I think that's the public library, and then I think the next build down is the old library, maybe. I remember coming here years ago and needing to get a Wi-Fi signal, and it was not in that brand new, shiny work of architectural art. So yeah, it looks like that's the old one. Or maybe still working, I don't know. My alarm is about to go off, or has gone off, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the secret word. And the secret word is actually two words. It's Zootown. And Zootown is kind of the informal nickname for Missoula, to the best of my recollection, and according to Traveling Mail. So we're going to go with that. It's got a reputation for being kind of a hippie town. Excuse me. And I don't know how deserved that is, or if it still is. It's certainly, the Clark Fork River comes through town, and then it's at kind of the head of the Bitterroot Valley. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And that's one of the richest places in Montana. So it's definitely changed over the years, but sometimes these reputations are gained and hard to shake. It's definitely a pretty town, especially the downtown area, and the residential area over by the university is just gorgeous, quiet, and not particularly fancy, but nice. Excuse me, it's cold and I've got a bit of a runny nose because of that, and consequently a little bit of a cough. Nothing to worry about though. Looks like there's a couple buildings down here that are being renovated. I love this independent telephone and Sorella's Day Spa building over there on the corner. It's the Union Hall. I don't know if that's just a bar or if it's, no, it says historically, a little plaque there, a Union Temple. So I assume it's still a Union place. This is Conflux Brewing Company. Over the past 10 years, like many places, Montana has exploded with breweries and distilleries, which is cool. I like it. We always try and find a good, we're a sucker for a good brewery. And over here, I'm just going to point this out, is kind of a hotel district. It goes down towards the river. There's 3 or 4 different chain hotels. Excuse me. And then I think a couple boutique hotels as well, down by the river and not far from where they hold one of their farmers markets in the summer. I'm glad to see these older buildings being renovated. You hate to, lose that kind of thing from your city's character. It's nice to see them being replaced and, not replaced, repaired and rejuvenated. Again, IMO, or in my opinion. Nothing against some beautiful new architecture, but I do like these old sort of turn of the century style buildings. Now I believe in the walk I did 2 years ago, I wended my way, is that the past tense of wend? Wended my way, started way down there, kind of looped around downtown area before coming this way. And so this time I'm just going to cross the bridge since we're covering a little more ground. And hopefully get you out of the sunlight. So we're only looking directly at the sun for a brief moment. And then on across, got the light, nice. It's nice to see some construction going on, but it's also not nice to have the pace of it looking like not quite as explosive as Bozeman. I think I've mentioned in earlier videos a couple of articles recently singling out Bozeman and the Bozeman area for just completely, not unchecked development, but just explosive growth. And the consequences of that, in film school we would have called it colonialist nostalgia, maybe. I think that would fit, where we all moved to this place to have this amazing, wild, natural experience, but then so many of us come that it's no longer wild and natural and untamed. And of course, I moved to Montana in 2003, so it's not like I was here for a long time, although that's 17 years, but not generations, certainly. It's not a competition, Henry. Again, looking down, there's a Holiday Inn signs. We've stayed there several times. It's pretty nice. Up ahead is the Wilma Theater. I gonna be able to? No. And that's kind of, I don't know if it's famous, but it's well known in town. It's a great place to see bands and movies and that sort of thing. And it looks like I'm gonna have to cross over, sadly, because they are repairing the bridge. So, looks like I should not just look back into downtown there. Break the law here. Thank goodness for these gimbals. There's the Wilma. I don't know what the upper levels are being reused for now. Golly. Oh wow, they're doing a lot of work. So down below here is where they've held the excuse me, the farmers market quite often, and then over to the right there's more public space, and I believe there's a carousel over there somewhere. Guess I should put on my mask again. It's part of the Riverside Trail. And you can see the Clark's Fork River here is so much as bumping the wrong button. Again, the Clark Fork River down below is choked with ice this time of year. I don't know if it freezes all the way over at all. Probably not, because it's pretty quick water. It's certainly cold looking. Of course, you can see the M on the side of the mountain over there. Sorry to be walking straight into the sun here. Makes it a tough filming job, but we'll peel over in a minute and get in the shade. Have a little bit better picture for you. Looks like people having fun with their dog. here on the left, this building in the trees is the Missoulian, the local paper. And then got sort of a couple blocks of neat old buildings and shops over here. And we will cross over there in a minute, I think, because we're coming up on one of the best places in Missoula. Now that I can say, and you can hear me without all that traffic. Oh no, that's not it. It's not quite yet. We have to wait for that. You might be thinking it's the Bridge Pizza, which is pretty good, but it's not what I'm talking about. I mean, it's not up there with the secret word, but it is pretty good. Across here, so I have to push the button. Well, I guess we'll cross here first. I feel like I should know what that big Victorian is, but I don't. Could very well be apartments. So I'm gonna go, no, I'm not gonna go that way, sorry. Tricked you. Says Barbs? Babs. I don't know what that means. Break the law again. Looks like a popular place to go over there. Breads. But I think I'm gonna go down this alley. Just because I like to explore a little bit. And who doesn't like a good alley? The Jeannette Rankin Peace Center. I believe Jeannette Rankin was the first female U.S. senator and the only female senator from Montana. And I believe she was one of the first senators from Montana, actually. That can't be right. Anyway, she was early on, back in the early 1900s, I think. I believe that tall building, the tower, is the Boone and Crockett Club. They sort of measure hunting trophies and provide scores and stuff. This is my second favorite place in Missoula, if they're still open. This is the next one. And it is Bernice's Bakery up here on the corner. Wonderful little bakery. Amazing pastries. Curbside only right now. Oh, the smell. I wish I could share the smell with you right now. It is lovely. All right, so medical dispensary up here, which is great. People their privacy. Of note, Montana just passed in the latest election a recreational marijuana bill. And so I don't know what the timeline on that is, but at some point we'll join Oregon and Washington and California, and I think Michigan maybe, and Colorado as the states with a recreational marijuana law. I think South Dakota passed one too this year, which was interesting because they're a fairly conservative state but also libertarian. Love these old houses. A sign for the river trail system. I'll have to explore that sometime. There's a little park down there on the river. I've definitely been down there with our little kids when they were little. And they've actually created, I believe, a underwater structure that they can raise and lower. And they raise it for the purpose of creating a surfable wave at certain water levels. Pretty nice house. I guess I haven't been doing a very good job on this walk of giving you the street names. So I will tell you up here what the street names are. Looks like 4th and something. Let me see here. They've got a lot of roundabouts, which are used to be unknown in the United States, but have been catching on. Looking straight in Chestnut, 4th and Chestnut. Which is great because they're actually so much more efficient and safe than what we normally use with the traffic lights. There have been a couple places in Bozeman that used to be just notorious for horrible traffic with 4-way stops. And they put in traffic circles, or as I like to call them, roundies, and they reduced the traffic, and they reduced accidents and injuries as well. Coming up on 4th and Hazel. It's a pretty fun town to walk around in. Very pleasant. Very safe from what I understand. Love all these porches too. Very envious of a good front porch. Looks like I should have gone down another block. We'll just have to do that now. Some pretty cool metal sculptures in this yard. This is so odd to me that you can live in a place that allows you to have that. In Livingston, it would be in big timber the first week. Or torn to shreds. Okay. I promised you my favorite place in Missoula, the best place in Missoula. And we're almost there. It is unfortunately not open at the moment, but I think you'll get the idea. This is where it started, and they've since opened places in Billings, and I believe Helena, and possibly Kalispell, but I'm not sure about that. I'm surprised they haven't opened one in Bozeman yet, but maybe that's in the cards. Once things settle down, of course. And you may have guessed it already, but it is, oh, they are open. Nice. But it's the Big Dipper ice cream store. It's kind of a walk up, and it gets packed here in the hot months because it's delicious. So I'm just gonna sit here for a second and get a good image for my thumbnail. Potential image for my thumbnail. And then I'm gonna hopefully, depending on what the lights are gonna do here, cross Higgins. We're at 4th and Higgins. Down there you can see kind of a marquee, and that's the Roxy Theater, home of the International Wildlife Film Festival. I mentioned that in my last Missoula video, walk. So you can see it down there. I'm actually going to cut down here into this neighborhood because it's going to be quieter, more peaceful, and some cool houses. And I like these neighborhoods. So that's where I'm going to take you. There's a nice pup. Let's head out the window. A husky. We're kind of headed over towards the university again. Now, buddy, we're gonna stop in my crosswalk. We're on 5th at the moment. A lot of student housing over here. I think a lot of professors live over here. A variety of conditions in these houses. All right, I think this is going to be it. I think I need to head on to my next stop. But I want to thank you guys for joining me. Please leave a comment, subscribe, click that like button and the bell to get notified, and tell your friends. I do enjoy the comments, I really do. I can't say that enough. I hate to harp on about it, but it's one of the surprisingly positive aspects of doing this channel is, one, interacting with people and seeing that people like it, but also learning about the places, things that I would not have known, hearing about people's personal connections to these places, whether it's their own experiences or family or trips they took or something else. I really like that. And I also love hearing, it really warms my heart to find out when these are making a positive difference in people's lives, especially during these times of lockdown and quarantines, and people are a little more isolated, can't travel like they'd like, and are able to get out and virtually travel or take a virtual tour. They spoken up and said it's really helped them, and it's not so much the plaudit or the compliment, but just knowing that people are a little bit happier. So hit me up in the comments section. Check out Roku if you're into that, or Amazon Fire if you have that. And we will see you again soon. In the meantime, keep on stepping.